Live. Still have a little bit of glare on my glasses. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Okay, remember to let me know when you join. Hmm. I know there's several of you joining. We may be running a few minutes late, it appears, because I've spoken to a couple of you today or yesterday. Um, mhm. Ooh, well, it shows that there's 3 on, but don't forget, please let me know. I'd like to see who is here with me. And the big question of the day for me right now is I know some of you are in the East Coast time zone, and this time of year, you're so lucky. Is anybody seed starting yet? I mean, I know that I'll be able to here in just a couple weeks. Um, I had said last year that I was going to start some things earlier. So I'm planning to do that um, maybe next week. And just remember if you are on a phone, tablet, or your laptop, computer, something like that, the live chat is over on the right hand side. Um, in the bottom right-hand corner. You can type whatever you wanna talk about, questions, what have you, and just hit the enter button, and it'll pop up here for me. I'll be able to read it. I don't think I don't know if everybody can see it. I don't know, but my mom's gonna be on tonight. She said she's gonna let me know when she's on. She's taking care of her dog at the moment, but she's gonna be on, and she has a private account, so I can't. If you have a private account, I can't see you. There she is. Hey, mom. I love you too. I wanted to ask you. I'll just go ahead and ask you here. Is Haley doing okay since the last time we talked? Haley is mom's 15-year-old Yorkie who I think is ADHD. And I know that you're not seed starting this year. Yay. Yes, mom, you did figure out how to do this. And I'm so proud of you. It's like I remember when my grandmother, um, oh my gosh, tells you how long ago it was. Email was just becoming the big thing, and my grandmother, she was older than my mom, about 10 years older than my mom, and she was just telling me about how she'd been emailing people and how, much fun it was, and I was so proud of her. So, mom, I'm so proud of you too for figuring out, um, the technology to do the go lives and stuff like that. Is dad watching with you? Are you on your phone? I am expecting several others because I did talk to them today as well, um, that they were gonna be joining or maybe joining late. Okay, no, that's good news. That is good news. It seems like I'll just kinda jump in here with this, and mom, you let me know if I need to stop. It seems like, um, back problems is just a hereditary issue in our family, and my dad has significant back problems as well. He's had multiple surgeries, and, he recently received a temporary TENS unit, implanted, and it seems to be helping him a lot. So, I find that very exciting. That's exciting technology that we did not have 10 years ago, I don't think. I'd never heard about it until past it could just be me being late to the game, but I hadn't heard of that until, like, the past year or 2. Past 2 years, I guess. So, I'm glad that he's not suffering with such severe pain any longer. Oh, good. I have another friend. Oh, no. Well, I cannot believe uh, tell him he needs to keep tell dad he needs to keep track of that TENS remote like he keeps track of the TV remote. Okay, it's showing 2. So I had a couple things because I know that, well, I've already said that I can't seed start. I'm gonna try and seed start next week. Just a few things, just a few little things. And I thought that would be really encouraging to be able to see while I'm recovering, stuff sprouting, growing, just some encouragement. Well, I'm really surprised. I had several conversations with a few people tonight that were joining. So it appears we have some more people joining. So that's good. Just give me a hi so I know you're here, who I'm talking to. And I also want to find out if anyone has any favorite freezer meals, something you cook and put in the freezer. It doesn't have to be the so-called bagged freezer meals, just anything, because I'm kind of hitting a roadblock. And there's my friend Sister Edie on here. Hello. She gave me the idea of doing three meatloaves with just different glazes, and I made barbecue sauce today to I made barbecue sauce today to go on some meatloaves, and Dean tasted it and said not to do a thing to it. So that's all good. Love you too, Miss Edie. I'm glad you joined because I love talking with you. She is my dear friend on the East Coast. Miss you tremendously, but we get to FaceTime and chat regularly. So that's always nice. So, but besides, I think I have plenty. I have those meatloaves and stuff, but I'm just open to any other ideas. I have some basics, and I found two recipes by just going to my cookbook and reading through recipes and thinking, looking at it and say, okay, could I put that in the freezer? Could I just put all these ingredients together and put it in the freezer? Um, I don't know how else to do it. I guess it's a little intimidating for me. I've never done more than 10 days at a time, ever. When I went to Sweden and Dean was with the kids, at that time it was just a week. And then this past time was 10 days. And so this is the most I've ever done. Stuffed bell peppers. Ooh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Thank you. Okay, looks like we have 8 on so far. But I don't see any other names. So just give me a shout real quick and let me know um, that you've joined, who we're talking with. I've tried to hit on some seed starting. Let me know if you're starting plants, if you've bought plants. People on the East Coast are lucky. They can go ahead and some things are ready to, I guess you guys can go outside with a few things like cold weather things, but uh, you guys get 2 seasons. I have one here, one and done. Goes in the ground June 1, comes out September, 25-ish, and it's either hit it or you don't. So, and then finding out ideas for freezer meals. We know why I'm asking that question. Ugh, cherry blossom trees are budding in Virginia. Oh, how beautiful. I do miss seeing those. So pretty. So this is a little awkward, I'll be honest with you, because I see 5 people on here and I'm talking to 2 people. I really enjoyed the last live stream we had. We had a lot of good interaction and it was so much fun. Hey, Therese, how are you? How are you? No problem for being late. I'm just glad you're here. I want to thank you for the reminder of the probiotics for my gut. I've been really concerned about that. Um, Taking prescription meds right now, and I know that I'll be taking more. I'm only taking 2, but I know that 2 weeks from now I'll be taking I don't know. I don't know what she's gonna give me, but I know it'll be a narcotic, and I'm just really worried about how that's gonna I've worked so hard to be so conscious about what I eat and, what we eat here in the house. I just don't want it tearing my gut up and having to start from scratch. Yes, I have made lasagna for a freezer meal, and it's actually on my list to do. I'm waiting for my Azure order. I didn't have one in December or January, and so this one's pretty big staple-wise. So I'm out of cheese. I'm completely out of onion. Um, so I'm waiting on that. That's coming on Tuesday, and so when I pick that up, I'll be hitting a few things really hard. Mm. Okay, take as many probiotics as I could. I did order some of the Nancy's cottage cheese. I ordered a case of it in this Azure order. So I know that's her stuff's really good for stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just start with anything and everything and just hit it hard as I can. Meatball soup, Edie, I've never heard of that. Is that kind of like that Italian wedding soup I used to make? I don't mean to keep doing that, guys, but I feel like I have a cold sore coming on, and one of the side effects of this medication is dry mouth. Ugh, and it is terrible. So it's like I'm always checking myself. Okay. Alrighty. And Therese, I saw that you have a video up today of gumbo. And I appreciate that because I've added that to my list of things to make, pre-make that Dean can throw in a crock pot. So he'll be happy with that. And the Therese is my friend over at the Homesteading Hills, and she has a great little channel there, and I watch a lot of her videos, and she had one recently also, "Would our great-grandparents recognize what we're eating?" And I think our great-grandparents would be horrified at what we're eating, the ultra-processed foods. I think that came into being a big deal with, the baby boomer generation, the 50s and 60s. But yeah, so I think even some things my grandparents would probably, they my grandmother did things like Bisquick and, oh my god, every Jello salad under the sun. But, you would not open her cabinet and it just be full of boxed meals, you know? Um, so even then, I think they would be a little surprised. Thank you. I'm sure he's gonna love it. I'm sure Dean's gonna love the gumbo. He's not a picky eater at all. He will eat anything I put before him. He has said many times before, he's just so grateful to come in and have a full meal right there for him. Before we got married, there was some time where he was single, and he remembers how he ate, and it was horrible, horrible. So he's really happy to have meals cooked for him. And I thought maybe Sarah from over Tiny Shed Life might be joining tonight as well. Um, she is in Texas, so Therese, have you started any seeds yet? I'm like really majorly interested in this because I know I'm going to be super limited. Whereas usually I have a huge rack against the wall, 5 or 6 shelves full of starts. This year, I'm not going to be able to have that. And a lot of the stuff I'm going to do, I'm going to start from seed, direct seeding. And then I'm going to just have one shelf with one grow light. And I'm going to start some onions. I did that last year. I did onions last year. They did really well. but I'm not starting near the stuff that I did last year. Garden's gonna look pretty different this year. I'm still gonna be recovered in time for garden season, but in terms of planting things that you have to start in the house, that's gonna be minimal. So I'm gonna try a few new things, like, it's still rather chilly here. Our last frost day is May 30. We never plant anything out before Mother's Day. Excuse me, Memorial Day. Memorial Day. Never anything out before Memorial Day. And so, but when you start here, like you can start with broccoli and cauliflower. I would start those in the house and maybe some greens. Getting ready to start. I'd be excited too. Every little bit I just get excited about. But it's really kinda hard to believe it's upon us already. I feel like I just took down Christmas. Well, I kind of did. I didn't take it down to the end of January. "Hi, Sherry. You just finished canning 15 pints of salsa. You lucky girl. My tomato crop failed this year, so I had to buy ca." Oh my goodness. Yeah, my I got very few tomatoes as well, and they were really small, but you can't grow tomatoes here like I did back east. Um, I don't know what part of the country you are in, Sherry, um, but back east, oh my gosh, you could grow tomatoes so large, you just have to have one slice to cover a piece of bread. And out here is just different because even during the summer, it may be 90 degrees during the day, but at night it's going to drop down to 60 at least. And so the tomatoes I found just could not handle that 30-degree fluctuation, 30 plus degree um, fluctuation. Ooh, getting ready to butcher your pig. I wanted to order pork this year. I just didn't do it in time. So we have half a beef in the freezer, but there's nothing like any meat straight off the ranch, the farm, the homestead. Um, it's just so much better. And of course, since I didn't get, a half hog or anything like that this year, you go to the store to pick up a few items like get canned milk and things like that. But just to pick up bacon or something and read what's in it, you're just like, I'll go without, I guess. But we do have a butcher shop in our local market in one of the towns nearby, and they go to the auction, the FFA auction, and they buy a lot of kids who raise the hogs or the beef and things like that. And so I know that I'm still getting it local when I buy it at their butcher case, but it's expensive. Everything's expensive, but it's really gone up. But that's why I was so happy to get that side of beef, even though it's a little bit of money to put out up front. You getting all those cuts. It kind of averages out to $7 a pound. Julie, I know. I have a whole greenhouse out there. I have this skeleton up, but it is the one project that has sat there since the first year we've been here, and it's just it's a story Dean could tell better, but the so-called instructions that came with constructing it were so horrible that he and his friend Woody, who helped put up the fencing in my garden, they just had to figure it out. And so the skeleton is there, but the panels that go in it are not. So um, he gave me some choices, and I opted to get the kitchen cabinet in this year. But I do have one. And I don't think I'd be able to take tomatoes out of a greenhouse here just because of those fluctuations. Oh, you have purchased from the FFA kids. Wow. Tell you, a lot of people do around here. that's the way around here in Southwest Colorado, these kids, I know for a fact one family that we know, their both their kids, participate in FFA, and when they sell that animal at the auction, it goes straight into their college account. And their dad, that's how he put himself through college, was he was selling, cattle each year, um, at the auction. It's pretty interesting. I had never been to one until we moved here, and it's a really big deal around here. They have a rodeo and a fair, and then the FFA auctions, and they have a building that has like all the master gardeners things and quilters and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Sherry, you're in Arkansas. Started brassicas and tomatoes. I know of a couple people in Arkansas, and they're able to do that now. Yep, I'm gonna start onions indoors, and I'm gonna start some broccoli. Um, I'm gonna try that this year. I'm gonna try some cauliflower. I'm gonna put those under a shade cloth though, because they won't be able to take the scorching sun at all. And but because of those cool nights, we can actually, a friend of mine, she actually grew broccoli and it was growing beautifully in July and August. She was harvesting and it was growing back. So Dean loves cauliflower, and I bought 13 heads, I think, from Azure last year. And I put some in the freezer and I blanched some and I canned some. And we have, out of those 13 heads, I was in the freezer yesterday. We have 2 gallon-sized bags full, which that's not a lot because the cauliflower florets from Azure are large. And then we have some in with the ones that I canned, I use them for do like riced cauliflower because they break down pretty easy. No, we did not. Oh, get this. God, we did not get any more snow here, and we are desperately under what we should have by now. And then, so we've actually been up in the high 50s, but it's getting ready to turn cold later on this week. But they were calling for 7 to 8 inches of snow the day I have my pre-op appointment scheduled. I told my mom, because I talked to her the other day. I was like, that is just like how things go, you know. But the weather here, I've never seen anything like it. It changes. I mean, we're not talking day to day. We're talking, it'd be calling for snow in the morning, and an hour later, it's saying that it's going to be 50 degrees. It's the craziest thing. We're supposed to have a new weather radar here. I don't know if it's like working yet or not. Probably it doesn't sound like it is. But here, the weather station, because of the high altitudes, the I think the first one, the lowest one, was 7,500 feet, and we fall just below that. So they really were taking a wild guess at what our weather was going to be based upon what it was going to be at higher altitude. So no, we did not get the snow. Snow went all around us. A friend of ours and my brother-in-law, they live in Washington State, and he sent me a picture yesterday. They got snow, not much, but still snow in Seattle is kind of weird. But nope, East Coast got it. Some of the Midwest got it. The West Coast got it. We haven't gotten anything. We've gotten 2 dustings and I think 1, maybe 2-inch snow, but we're used to getting like a couple good snow dumps. And we need that. We need that desperately. And a lot of people, I didn't know a lot of these things until I moved out here. But the reason why the snow is so desperate out here, we're so desperate for snow, is not just because is not just because of um, the moisture, because it's so dry. It is dry here. but fire mitigation. Out here in the summertime, it gets real breezy, but it does get hot, and that is just the worst thing for wildfires. And let me tell you, if you don't have your winter snows, and then you have like the dry, dusty condition, and then it's hot and it's windy, one little spark, I mean, you can lose acres and acres. There was a family just down from us, a couple miles down, and they did everything right. They had, um, we had a little bit of snow on the ground at the time. They had their hoses out there. They had, containment and everything, and they were burning brush. And a lot of times out here, if you're not used to burning out here, the fire department will actually come to your property to ensure that you get the first couple times right and don't catch everything on fire. But they did everything, the fire department said they did everything right, and still it was one little spark, just kind of, the wind took it took 2.5 acres of their property before the fire department could get it under control. So it doesn't like sound like a whole lot, but it is when you think about it, when you think about the damage that fire does. um, so the thing that, out here, like with homeowners insurance and stuff like that, you have to have everything around your house. It's either 75 or 100 feet cleared, you know. Um, it's just the way it is. So, Therese, did y'all get more snow? Are they calling for more snow for out in Arkansas? I'm not sure you guys get a whole lot of snow anyway, usually. Am I right? Wrong? I'm getting a little self-conscious looking into this computer because I see my neck. This medication, one of the side effects also besides dry mouth is weight gain and just edema. And I can feel it. I can feel the change since I've been taking it. And it looks like I don't have a neck. More snow possibly on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday is when they were calling for it here as well. Um, so we'll see. I'm going to make it into that appointment no matter what, though. I actually have two that day, a couple times a year. Yeah, I mean, even if we don't get consistent snow, if we get like the first year we were out here, we got like three or four dumps of snow, but they were like 18 inches, 12 inches, and then it stuck around until March. And it actually, the first day of spring that year snowed. So, but then we have what's called mud season, and that's where everything's muddy. And out here, it's so dense that it's like your feet are encased in concrete. It's just so, but I will definitely go through mud season anytime in order to have the snow. Plus, it keeps us out of drought status. So it fills the reservoirs back up. So there's not a water problem. Okay, I'm waiting on you guys a little bit. Julie, tell me, because I know where you are. Do you tell me I need a greenhouse for tomatoes? Do you plant anything at all? I know you're super busy, and work long hours, but do you plant anything at all? Trace, when you're going to butcher your pig, do you do that just for your family, or do you sell any of it? Are you at that kind of capacity yet? The homemade creamer. That is so super simple. Um, And I thank you for watching very much. And I have some more to send to my dad. I just need to get that trip out to the post office because I also owe him some peanut butter cookies. But my mom is on here. Do not tell him because I cannot be held to it to say that I'm going to get that done. You need a bigger yard. In the pictures, your yard looks pretty big, or you could just, if you have a deck or patio, get some containers out there. Back east, it's not done out here. Back east, you can plant in the ground, and that's kinda like a foreign concept out here because of the soil, because it's so, um it's not well, it's kinda clay soil, but it's kinda a lot of silt too. It just packs down like concrete. There is no way to plant in the ground unless you are, like, growing things like alfalfa or wheat or something like that, and your soil's been worked for years and years and years. Thank you, Mom. Yeah, Dean's getting ready to go out and take care of the chickens for me since I'm on tonight. That's what he's gonna do. I appreciate it very much. Oh, that is interesting. Take turns. That is a really good idea. Homesteading Hills, they go in with some friends and buy feed and get scraps, food scraps. I would love. Now we are at, I want to say for this year, I'm looking at Dean. I would say this year we're at capacity. That between the cat, the dogs, and the chickens, we're we're at capacity with things that we have going on. But we have discussed last year we discussed ducks, and so who knows? And then we have briefly discussed a couple goats for fire mitigation. But you know what? Since we've been clearing property with, since we've been clearing, doing firewood from trees that are already down, is actually doing a pretty good job. Makes like a community, local farmers makes like a community pig raising instead of a community garden. I would love to do that. Um, I would love to do that with like some neighbors. I know a lady who she has chickens, but she uses her chickens for eggs like I do, but she will not butcher them for meat. I think she looks at them as pets. Um, and to me, that's crazy because then after they're done laying, they really serve no purpose but to be, a drain on the bank account. But she got with somebody and they said if she butchered 25 chickens that they would give her so much pork in exchange or something like that. But um, I know that's probably easy for me to say because I haven't had to butcher any chickens as of yet. I've been very fortunate, and knock on wood, all 15 of these girls have stayed very healthy. And I know that it's a big controversy among some people, and I'm kind of the belief, um, I don't care. But I did have my birds vaccinated when they hatched for Merrick's and what's it called? Coccidiosis. I cannot pronounce it, but I had them vaccinated for that because being a first time, having chickens, I didn't want to deal with any illness and having to do all the things that you do. I'm on a chicken group and I watch a lot of people post things on there and pictures of their sick chicken and what do I do? And they tell them, you know, I just didn't want to deal with any illness. So I'm very lucky. The girls have been very healthy, and I try to keep everything very clean so that I don't have any issues. Oh, that's a good, yeah, you're lucky there, Julie. We don't have any Amish farms are not predominant out here like they are back east. But oh my gosh, yes, to go to one of their farms. And I remember being able to do that, and then you can just can up from, yeah, from what you get from them. I used to do that with the apples, with the apple orchards back in Virginia, and they had peaches, and I did all that. I would buy those by the bushel and then can them up. But oh, when I used to live back there, I grew a salsa garden and I made salsa, and Dean loved it and it was good. And I mean, I would just get it up by the quarts. And so I think I'm going to have to go to New Mexico to get my tomatoes this year. I'm going to try like some grape tomatoes. You can't make anything with those, but I mean, I want to have some fresh for eating. I'm going to try just, a few littles. So, Sherry, you guys out in Arkansas, I bet you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with the rocky, silty soil. If I'm not mistaken, that's pretty good goat country out where you guys are also. I remember, Julie, I remember being able to go. It was just down the road. You took it for granted. They had a lot of the Amish stores. And, I always felt good buying from them because I knew, it was the same quality of what I would put out here, or at home. My big food journey started. That's how I got started in all this was food. And I think you ask people, newer homesteaders, and that is the big thing, is find out what our food consists of. And it's so maddening that they're like, I'm just going to learn how to do it myself. And of course, that became predominant with COVID as well. But I went down my rabbit hole when I was diagnosed, gosh, 2018. Yeah, 2018 with fatty liver disease. And I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink. But they have a thing called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And I wasn't a junk food junkie, but the things that I ate were just so full of crap. And I was, for many years, I was eating pretty low budget. So I just started researching things and found out that a lot of the things had stuff in them that was making me sick. And so when I was taking seven different medications every day, 4 times a day, because one medication would cause a side effect, and then I get a prescription for that side effect, and it was just on and on and on. And so one day I changed my diet. I started, changing it little bits at a time because I knew nothing about any of this. And I went to work one day, and I had forgotten one of my major meds. I'm not going to go and tell you what it was for, but I had forgotten them. And I thought, I'm not going to get through this meeting. I'm going to have to go home. And come to find out, I was fine. I didn't have a single issue all day. And I thought, well, this is kind of odd. So I worked from home the next day and didn't have an issue. Hi, Josie. And and so it kind of went like that. Well, so as I was changing my diet day by day, I started trying to come down off these meds one by one, and I did it. And so 30 days later, when I went back for just a regular checkup of this issue, I had come off all meds, and my doctor wanted to know what I was doing. And I told her, I changed my diet, and I was taking milk thistle and dandelion root supplements. And she was like pretty amazed, but it works. Ducks are noisy, but great for letting you know if anything. Yeah, they are noisy. And, that's, having them around to like let us know of anything or anyone's around is not going to be an argument for me for Dean because our three dogs they cover that. I wanted them because I'm not even sure. I've never tried duck eggs. I hear from everybody that they're so wonderful, and I'm sure they're very good for you. And like you would only need one, like to do any baking or something because they're so much larger. But that would be something that I would look at as kind of like a pet. But because I've never even had duck meat before, I would not know what it would taste like. I've heard um, that it's pretty greasy. Oh, Dean's just staying here because he just let the dogs in. He said wild duck is excellent. So I would not know. He did the chickens for me tonight. Did we get any eggs? You showed 3. So, well, that's 7. 7 for today. I'm not going to complain. I saw the prices. We were at Walmart. We were picking up, some dog treats and stuff like that. And so I just always check the eggs because I'm curious. And I know there's a bird flu going on right now. And I know, I guess that's causing a lot of shortages for eggs. And so I always look at the cage free. I look at the organic cage free because that's what I equate my eggs to. And, I see that like the pasture raised, I can't do that because I don't have pasture, but they are cage free and they, you know, are taken care of very well. Well, at Walmart out here, a dozen was $9.40. So I'm so thankful we have these chickens right now and that they're laying, because I have a chicken problem right now. It's a good problem to have, but we're egg rich right now. And so I'm waiting to have water delivered, but it probably won't be till after my surgery. So my water guy can pick up 4 dozen. I have 4 dozen that are washed eggs ready to give away. And then we have 40 washed in the refrigerator for ourselves. And then we have 2 dozen unwashed on the counter. So, and I have 5 dozen preserved, water glassed. So
remember,
we are egg
Waffle
rich.
House is charging
Oh
50 cents.
my gosh, yeah. Did you guys see that Waffle House? We read it on the internet news, and Waffle House now on their menu, when their main thing is breakfast, they're charging an upcharge of 50 cents per egg in whatever dish you order if it has eggs in it. 50 cents per egg. I told Dean, I said I'd love to see somebody walk in there and say, "Oh, these are my eggs. You want to cook for me?" They probably wouldn't do it. Soil, yes. Soil remediation, it takes forever. I've learned that the hard way through composting. It was last year. Dean might have been the first year. We'll be here 3 years in October, this upcoming October. And he built me a compost bin, and I've been putting stuff in it and turning it and putting stuff in it. I have to turn it with a pitchfork. It is still not ready. I don't know what I've done wrong. Maybe because I continue to add to it without using from the bottom. I don't know. But soil remediation is difficult. So hopefully this year it's going to be okay because like I showed in my video, I used stuff out of the chicken coop when we did that fall clean out, full clean out in the fall and full clean out in the spring. And so that will go on another bed But you know what? Their whole chicken coop, 8 by 8, 8 inches of deep bedding full of composted goodness is only enough to clear one bed for me. So I know where the tomatoes were. I'm gonna crush up some of the hens' eggshells, dry them out and do all that, crush them up and put them there because I know the soil was depleted of some calcium there. The last of the tomatoes that grew had a couple plants had blossom end rot. And so I know that's from lack of calcium in the soil. Well, it looks like we've got 10 more minutes, guys. Anybody have any questions for me? Anything what we're doing, or I'm trying to use this time to see what you guys are up to. I feel like always, on the video, I'm telling you what I'm doing. So I love having this time to see what you guys are up to. Therese, I have not thought about raising rabbits. I know that their fertilizer is supposed to be super good because it's not hot. You can put it, it's like chickens, you can put it right on it. I've got this weird thing with rabbits. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It probably is going to take me raising some rabbits to get over it. Just like, chickens, I was never afraid, but their legs, their feet bothered me for some reason. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get some and, get over it. And I did. It doesn't bother me at all. I think it was because I was in an urban, suburban setting and just wasn't used to it. But yeah, I don't know why I've got this. I think it's the eyes. It's the same thing with the goats. Like some rabbits' eyes just seem to be like pinkish, and it sounds so stupid, but it bothers me. Yeah, Julie made a good point about selling my eggs, and around here, I've just been so shocked. And to sell at a farmer's market here, you have to have a tax ID number, which means you have to, out here, you have to charge sales tax, or else you have to absorb that cost yourself. And you have to take EBT because you have to have a tax ID and you're selling food. So I have not done any craft shows, which used to bring me in a good little chunk of side money, for Christmas and just, whatever. I used to use it. I used to do my craft shows in the summer for back to school for the kids when they were in school. And it just, man, the government's got their hand in your pocket everywhere you turn. So I told Dean, I said, I'll sell, to people that we know, like the water guy, like, we've told him, tell a couple of your friends, we'll sell them. But I have thought about, donating some to the food bank, but even then, because we're not, what do you call it? We don't have any certification, our chickens have not, been checked by, so like the kids that we know, they have private customers around here and they sell their eggs to private customers. You just do it privately under the table. I do have liquid creamer in a video on my channel. I think, gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was back at Christmas time, and I was actually got turned on to someone. They did it, and so I took it and did a video on it. It's back at Christmas time. I have a recipe for the peppermint mocha liquid coffee creamer, the pumpkin spice, and the eggnog. And they were all good. But the pumpkin spice and the peppermint mocha were my favorites. And I'm making them all, that way now. I I got on some other, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I give credit to it, to the video, to the girls' video in the description box of my video. But I still make the peppermint mocha, but you don't even have to have the peppermint if you don't like it, because it's just like a third a cup of chocolate chips, sweetened condensed milk, and half and half. And it is good. I will never, ever be buying coffee creamer again, especially after reading the labels. So, yes, I do have, but I don't have, if I want plain creamer, then I use heavy whipping cream. Yep. Heavy whipping cream or evaporated milk. But I don't like using my evaporated milk too much because we don't drink a lot of milk here, and we're just not big milk drinkers. And so I use evaporated milk for my cooking. And I use heavy whipping cream for all the extra goodness. And it seems like whenever you don't have heavy whipping cream and you want to make something, it calls for it. So I've started keeping it on hand now. But that's one of those things I would like to. Oh, my dad had a fit when I told him, but I would like to get a herd share so that I could get fresh raw milk and raw cream for my coffee. That'd be super rich. But there's a lot of people have a lot of hangups, but there's a lot of what do you call it, inspection that has to be done on dairy farms for them to be able to do herd share. And we do have a ranch out here that does it, but they're like an hour away, and you have to pick up once a week. Everything seems like it's an hour away from us, but no, we have a little town 20 minutes from us. That's the closest, but it's like a town of 600, and it literally has one stoplight, So, and then the place where, we go to Walmart, that's all that's there. There's no shopping. We have to go to New Mexico if we want to do any big shopping of any sort. But that's why, I get the majority of our food from Azure Standard, and I'm now getting supplies in bulk through Amazon, the Amazon Basics brand. They are competitive with anything you would buy at Walmart. Believe me, before I did the subscription, I checked. And so we get, toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, all that kind of stuff through them now. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on some raw milk. I just don't know about, it can get kind of costly getting into that herd share, but I just don't know about making the commitment to go an hour one way each week. The dog bumped you. I have my 3 babies in now, and while they are working dogs here, they are also our pets, and they are good dogs. So I totally understand, because when they came in, Josie came right in around the table, sat beside me, and she wanted me to acknowledge that she was in for the night. $7 a gallon for raw milk. That is really good. A gallon, that's really good. Because what is the price of milk in the store now? I don't know. I buy canned milk, so I don't know. We might go into Walmart. Right now we're going into Walmart. It feels like once a week because of prescriptions. But we don't go regularly. Like I said, we canned milk, and Dean gets some of his things, some of his toiletries and stuff, because I get my toothpaste now from Azure Standard, and he didn't care for it. So he's still getting the toothpaste and soap at Walmart. All right, guys. We've been on just 30 seconds shy of an hour now. So I'm going to kind of wrap up for this evening. Oh. You yeah, um, Teresa's gonna have goats here soon and have goat milk. I've never tried it. Never tried it. I don't know anything about it. We tried goat cheese when we first moved here. We were making a connection with a lady. She has a goat farm, and we tried the cheese. It was expensive. It was like 8 ounce. Was it 8 ounces, Dean?
What?
The
Oh,
goat.
yeah.
It was 8 ounces when we first moved here. It was $20 at the farmer's market. $20. I kid you not. I told Dean, I was like, it's an investment. It's an investment. We're trying to make connections. But it sounded good, but we just didn't care for it. I would have to, I'd have to try it at somebody else's table before I'd spend money. But yep, I'm going to go ahead and thank you guys. It's so good to see you and talk with you and just have the interaction. It makes me feel more connected. And I love getting all your comments and stuff on the videos. And I'm really, really humbled that you guys watch and take an interest in our life. And I'm just as interested in yours, believe me. So I will be getting my Azure order on Tuesday. So that will be the 11th. I will film that and get that out by, I want to say the next day, because the 13th I have all day appointments, all day. Barter for the milk, swap eggs for the milk. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a wonderful idea. Yeah, I'd like to find some people to barter. I barter for some bacon right now, some fresh bacon for eggs. The thing is, a lot of the people out here where we live, they have chickens. They're looking into us and say, "Did you guys get chickens this year? You want some eggs?" I was bartering with a guy who worked on building the cabin, and I was going to barter with him eggs for my jams. I was going to give him several different types of jam. And all of a sudden our girls started laying. So we're kind of like, sorry. But yeah, I'm ready to barter. Perfect idea. Guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. And, just it makes me feel good. I love hearing from you guys. Love getting questions. Anywhere between $3 and $6 a gallon for milk. Wow. Not big milk drinkers here. I guess it's paying off in one way. But I keep saying that I'm gonna go, but I get caught up in conversation. I love talking to you guys. So, but just thanks again. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to get that video out. My goal is on the 12th. I'm going to be tied up in pre-op stuff on the 13th, and we'll just see how it goes from there. So I hope to be able to get some footage out to you guys. I don't want my channel going silent, going dark, or anything like that. I enjoy you guys too much to see that happen. I'm not at one of these places. I will say this real quick because I want this to be known, but I'm not at one of these places, and I heard Therese talk about it in her last video, where we are making money off of YouTube. We're not. We're not making a dime right now, because I do this as it started off as letting my family and friends know what was going on as we were traveling out here. And it just kind of picked up. And then when we got the land and started the cabin and other people started joining, it became like really exciting for me. And I really enjoy it. And it started off as a hobby. And now it's just kind of like, I get excited to I learned something new out here. I get excited to share it, to show it. And then a lot of my, friends and family, and I feel like, I have a whole new group, and this group is awesome. Just like I said, the last live, I haven't had any issues. I don't have any of the nasty issues that a lot of people have of being online. But going back to getting off on a tangent, that people think that when you hit the 1,000 subscribers, you start making money. You do not. You have have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours. So a lot of times people say they don't want their channel going dark, when they're off because their money will, drop significantly. But we're not making any money. So I do this because I love it. And I just don't want it going silent though, and then lose subscribers. And, I actually look for you guys. I feel like I get to know you and I start looking for your comments, some of your regular commenters, and I start looking for them and, you know, see how you're doing. So, okay. But that little bit taken care of. So please just stay tuned. I will try to get you some footage up. I don't know. I don't know after this Azure haul how it's going to be. So thank you, Mom. Yes, thank you all for all the love and prayers and good thoughts that are being sent my way. It's really humbling to know that everybody has taken such a vested interest in my health, and I appreciate it very, very much. So, you guys take care. I will look forward to seeing you next time, and I am going to probably not have a live next month. I'm gonna let myself get totally back to normal before I start showing my face again. It's bad enough that my speech is kind of weird to me. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm so glad to see you. And I will talk to you soon. Until then, take care.